An Ebony Forend tip is a traditional part of a custom rifle. Hi, I'm Larry Potterfield with Midway USA. Let me show you how to put one on. The Ebony Forend tip is strictly for appearance and doesn't play a functional role in the rifle. My preference for forend tips is about 1 3/4 inches in length, with a 90-degree angle to the top of the forend. While most forend tips start out as an ebony block, such as this, I'll make mine from this piece of ebony that I brought back from Africa. The first step is to rough out a block on the bandsaw just a bit larger than our forend tip. Once that's complete, a belt sander is used to square everything up. Since I want a forend that is 9.5 inches in length, including the forend tip, I'll mark this one at 7 3/4 inches. And using the bandsaw, shorten it. I'm using the belt sander to square it up. A pair of 3/8 inch walnut dowels are used to hold the tip in place, although 1/4 inch dowels would be fine as well. To mark their locations, I start by making center lines both horizontally and vertically on the forend tip. And mark a hole in the center of each half about 3/8 inch from the center line. Now I can drill out the holes using a hand drill. Each hole should be about 1/2 inch deep. A pair of dowel and tenon centers are then placed in the holes, and with the stock secured to the bench, along with a spacer, the face of the ebony block is pressed against them. Using a mallet, I hit the back of the block sharply, which precisely transfers the hole locations so that I can drill them out. Since the dowels are fairly tight-fitting, it's best to use pliers to groove them to let the air out when gluing everything together. All that's left is to fill the dowel holes with wood glue, being sure to coat the contact surfaces and dowels. A clamp is used to hold everything together. Once the stock is set for 24 hours, we can remove the clamp and inspect the joint. That looks pretty good. I'm marking the tip and using a bandsaw to remove most of the excess material. Now we can start shaping. I'm using a Nicholson 49 rasp and a straight edge to file a flat on the bottom of the tip. Once it's completely flat, I can file additional flats on each side of the tip. Now that I have 3 flats total, I can start knocking off the edges. After which, I have a handful of corners. Which I file using a mill bastard file until the tip is round and blended with the forend. The barrel channels next, I'm using a round rasp to rough it in and a barrel bedding tool to scrape away the remaining material. Now we're ready to begin rounding the tip. This is just a matter of turning a square into a circle using some simple math. The forend tip measures 1.3 inches in diameter, so I've marked a line half that diameter down the tip. This will allow us to turn the end of the tip into half a sphere like this. I've calculated a line representing my first cut. By removing material between these lines, we'll begin to follow the shape of a ball. A number 49 rasp is used to remove the material by filing a series of flats and then connecting those flats by knocking off the corners. It's important to be careful around the top rails as they're quite delicate. Now I have one flat all around the forend tip. You can see it starting to take shape. Using a bit more math, we can calculate these 4 lines. We'll file flats between the lower 2 lines and the upper 2 lines. Now we're almost there. Some coarse sandpaper and a wooden backer is used to blend everything together. Just about perfect.